Today we're going to make some pies. And yes, I said pies. So y'all make sure to come back later because I have another pie recipe for you. But first we're going to make this delicious strawberry pie. This may very well be the best strawberry pie I've ever eaten, and I've eaten a lot, besides Shoney's. Back in the day, when I was growing up, Shoney's had the absolute best strawberry pie. Now, this is a recipe that I found in an old cookbook, and it's just said strawberry pie. Y'all, this pie was so good, it might have even been better than Shoney's. Since this is an old recipe, we're not going to use gelatin in it. We are not going to use the prepackaged gel to put in it. This is going to be a homemade strawberry pie other than the pie shell. I'm going to cheat on that. But let's go ahead and get started on this. You are going to want to use one container of strawberries, one small container of strawberries, which should amount to almost 2 cups, maybe a little more or less. If you haven't used the straw method of taking the strawberry stems off the strawberry yet, then you might want to give it a try because this was so easy. And it's not perfect. You may have to have a knife to use it on some places on that strawberry, but hey, this was quick. This is a very quick method of doing this. Then we are going to give those strawberries a bath. I just went ahead and covered them with water and then put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in that water. Give it a little stir. I like to put a lid on mine and just give it a shake. And then after that, I will pour that water off, that first water, fill it back up with just water again and shake it. And then I'll repeat that like 3 or 4 times. Now you can make your own pie crust if you want to, but I just bought a pie crust from the grocery store. You will need a deep dish pie crust. Let that pie crust unthaw for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, just grab a fork and you're going to poke some holes in it. I think most bakers know to do this, but I may have some new cooks out there. And the reason we're doing this is because you don't want that pie crust to bubble up, and it will if you don't poke holes in it. Make sure to go around the sides as well. Another trick is that if you're going to take this to like maybe a function and you kind of want it to look homemade, you can take a fork, make sure to wet that fork in some water or milk and just go around the edges and press lightly. You don't want to press too hard because you will mess up your pie shell. Now we are going to pop this in the oven for 10 minutes on 350 degrees and make sure to set your timer so that you do not forget that pie shell. While that is baking in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make our filling. You will need 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I always like to do heaping tablespoons. That's just who I am. That's for extra measure, but you do you. I haven't got my stovetop eye on just yet, so let's go ahead and blend that together. Then add 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. One cup of water. And 4 drops of red food coloring. Now let's turn that stovetop eye on to low to medium. And I know some of y'all call it a burner. You do you. To me, it's a stovetop eye. Okay, now let's stir this, and you're going to stir and stir and stir. This really didn't take long, probably maybe 5 minutes or so, but you're going to keep stirring, and you want to make sure there are no clumps, and you're going to think that this is pink. I was like, this is not even red. This is going to look awful. But as this heats up, this does turn red. So just keep stirring. Now, after 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, you are going to see it start to thicken. Now, you don't want to get this to a boiling point. Now you'll see it start to thicken, and this is when we're going to take it off the stovetop eye, and we're going to let this cool off for about 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't take long. And see how pretty and red it is? Now back to our pie shell. We've gotten it out of the oven, hopefully. You may have to set a timer, like I said. And now we're going to put our strawberries in it. And then we're just going to kind of move them around and place them real pretty in the top of the pie. And once your gel is completely cooled off, you're going to just pour that right on top of those strawberries. And in between, make sure to get in between those strawberries. And then once I covered this and got all my gel in there, I did shake my pie. I shook it around just a little bit to get that gel to settle in the bottom. And try not to get that gel on your pie shell. I did get a little spot over there because it will turn it red and it won't be so pretty, but that's okay. And then you're going to want to put this in the refrigerator so it can gel for at least 2 hours. And it did gel. It gelled perfectly. And then all you need is a little whipped cream to go on top.